New Zealand, Australia, England, or even South Africa for that matter. So they have pretty much played their games in Asia.
Hmm.
And the condition between Asian and those countries are vastly
Vastly
different.
different. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the challenges with these young batsmen was to adapt to those, conditions, and they did not do that really well.
Okay, so that's the
So
T20. It's the youth. Okay, what happened in the ODI series? Because I mean, that was surprising. The last two matches, because that's your squad. That's Rohit Sharma. That's Shubman Gill. That's Virat Kohli, Ishan Kishan, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Akshar Patel. I mean, this is the team that we've been talking about. This is the team that's been not just talking about, they've been dominating. And the way they lost those last two matches to England, I don't know. I was having a hard time reconciling that. Uh, I don't know if England's back, if England is that good, or was this just a blip? The India squad kind of, it's just as you said, they haven't necessarily been out there in a while, and it was different conditions and the travel and all that kind of caught them by surprise. On the ODI series with all the veterans out there, what did you see besides your man Rohit Sharma coming up in that third match with a 138 century with 17 fours and 5 6? I mean, he did everything he could to try to catch that 388 target. What did you see in that series? England winning 2-1 by winning the last two matches.
yeah, so see, the experience and the talent of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma was on display. Rohit Sharma didn't do well in the previous series. I
Mhm.
believe it was India versus New Zealand that happened in India, and there were question marks raised about Rohit Sharma's
Is he
ability
done? Is
and
he? Yeah.
and the fact that he would be available in the World Cup. But then he answered it with that 100 in the last ODI against a pressure chase of 387.
Hmm.
Virat Kohli was great as usual because he scored almost a half century in almost every match. Before, in the previous series, he had scored century.
Hmm.
So these two batsmen, I think, would not be going anywhere, and they would be in the World Cup. And they do come good in big occasion. Rohit Sharma had scored 5 centuries in one World Cup. Virat Kohli scored four in another. So I think Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma are not going anywhere. The challenge lies in some of the other batsmen. So Shubman Gill aside, nobody really scored much or uh,
Did
contribution of
not make an impact.
substance.
Yeah.
So that's where India fall behind. The middle order just didn't show up to the party. And bigger thing is, every time they were building a partnership and looking good, uh, somebody broke the partnership when it was one cycle, pushing a cycle in a cycle stand and everybody fall. So that's exactly what happened in the last match. Because if either one of Rohit Sharma, Gill, or Virat Kohli would have stayed, they would have won because they got close to 360, 387. And it was like a matter of 3 or 4 overs, being hit for big runs. And that Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma and Gill are really capable of. But handing it and leaving it to the bowlers didn't leave much room, even though like Ashdeep Singh, tried his best and other bowlers too. I don't remember everybody and what kind of knocks they played, but that was what the challenge was. So I do feel that there are risks and concerns around Indian ODI team, but not something that cannot be ironed out. I would not call it a blip. I think when a team scores 387, they 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 are not just that; they are showing that they have the ability to dictate terms with other team, decimate them. That that's what my opinion is of that
All right.
series, and I
Okay.
think English team is a great contender.
Yep, absolutely. All right. I said we're going to talk about the negative and then finish out with the positive. Let's talk about that positive. Indian tour of Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe team that we were talking about with that Bangladesh series, is this Does this mean Zimbabwe has gotten better or Bangladesh has gotten worse? Well, the India team uh, going into Zimbabwe kind of answered that question. These games took place over the last 4 days. I think Thursday was the first match. Yesterday was the second, and the last of the third of the series, the third match, just took place earlier today. Just wrapped up, and India won. India won big. India won in different ways. Each one of these matches, and kind of put to bed both if there were questions about this squad and if there were any question of Zimbabwe starting to compete with the member nations. And yeah, that did not go well for Zimbabwe at all. So look, the kid Webhav Suryavanshi was an absolute star in this series, right? And he's moved into. I haven't looked if he opened all three, if he's consistently opening now. I know they've been throwing him out there, but he got himself in that first match. He got himself a half century on 19 deliveries before getting out, right? And that was chasing a pretty paltry 126 target, chasing 125 that Zimbabwe was able to put up. And again, Sikandar Mirza didn't get it done, which means Zimbabwe wasn't going to get much done. They put up 125 at a loss of seven, and backed by Suryavanshi and then Ishan Kishan a little bit, but they chased it down. But what are you seeing? Are we seeing a different? It seems like a ridiculous thing to say about a. Is he 16 now or still 15? 15 years old.
Uh,
About a
yep.
15-year-old to be saying this seems like a ridiculous thing, but are we seeing a different Webhav Suryavanshi today than we were last year?
I wouldn't say that because last year, Weber Suryavanshi only got, IPL and that to like 3 to 5 matches, if I
Hmm.
remember correctly. But he scored a 30 ball 100 run,
Yeah,
right? Oh, 35 ball 100. So that speak that spoke volume about, the kind of talent he had and,
absolutely.
the kind of intent with which he played. Um, this year, he was the highest run scorer in the tournament. I think he scored 775 or something.
Yep,
And all of that run was scored at a strike rate of 200 plus. Now that's insane,
it is.
because, forget it about for a 15-year, even for a batsman in his prime at around 25,
Right?
those are insane numbers. So, his elevations were always called out for. There were a lot of people who wanted him to, get into the international side, the Indian team, and he got into the Indian team in England and in Zimbabwe. He played two, matches against England and all three matches against Zimbabwe, opening the batting.
Yep.
In the England series, he only scored like 20 and 20 odd, but he scored them with around four sixes or five
Yeah, yeah,
sixes.
yeah. Look, he's definitely he'd been kind of a boom or bust player, but now he's been a lot more boom than bust lately. So yeah, but it's still he's never going to be a 102, 108, 110 strike rate guy. He's got too much power to be that. But he's staying on for that boom a lot longer. So which is why the busts are getting reduced. He ended up being the player of the series with 151 runs in that third match. He scored 81 off of 49 with 8 fours and 4 sixes, strike rate of 165. And that's on the low end for his strike rate, right at 165. Just a phenomenal talent. And yeah, India righted the ship very, very quickly with this series. An absolute demolition and a sweep, a three match sweep of Zimbabwe. Rahul, that is unfortunately all the time we have. Wonderful to have you back today. Let's see if we can get more cricket conversation going next week right here on the Sports Spotlight next Sunday at 10 a.m. What do you think?
Yes, let's do that. Thank you, Rizwan, for having me.
Of course,
And
always a pleasure.
goodbye to all our audience.
Thank you, Rahul. All right, with that, we're going to sign off. This is Rizwan signing off for today. But hey, we'll be back next Sunday, same time, with the Sports Spotlight. And there's going to be a surprise immediately following the Sports Spotlight. We'll talk about that next week. And then you can catch me Wednesday night at 9 p.m. with Chandni Ratein right here on Radio Azad, radioazad.us, 107.9 FM. HD4. This is Rizwan signing off. Have a wonderful Sunday.